In this video, I'm going to share how your money metaphors could be limiting your flow of financial abundance. And stay tuned because I'm going to share a ritual that I have created to shift your money energy in a matter of minutes. And it is gentle but very, very powerful. I want to share a piece of research with you that really hammers home how important the metaphors we use to describe reality are in shaping our actual behaviours. So this is a piece of research from Stanford University, and 482 students were asked to read a report about crime and then to offer solutions for how to reduce crime in this particular neighbourhood. So they were split into two groups and they were given an identical report, apart from the fact that in one, crime was described as a predator, as a beast, and in the other, crime was described as a disease or as a virus. And caveat here, this was way before the health crisis we've just been through, so the connotations of the virus would have been totally different. Of those who read the report describing crime as a predator, 75% put forward solutions that involved enforcement or punishment, like building more jails, calling in the military and things like that. Only 25% suggested social reforms like fixing the economy or improving education or providing better healthcare. In the second group, where crime was described as a disease or a virus, it was only 56% who opted for greater law enforcement, while 44% suggested more social reforms. So why is this? Why would describing crime as a predator make people so much more likely to suggest harsher, more punishing solutions? Well, if you think about how to deal with some vicious predator, you might think about hunting it, about catching it, about caging it, which can lead to people making the same sorts of associations when they're asked, well, how do we deal with crime? You know, they might start to suggest, well, we need to catch more criminals. We need to lock them up. Whereas if you present the problem using the metaphor of the disease or the infection, people may be more likely to start looking at, okay, well, what's the root problem? What's the cause of this illness? How can we build the immunity of the community? How can we find ways to heal? So what was incredible about this research was it showed not only that the different metaphors shape how we think, but also how we subsequently act as a result of thinking in that way. Now, you're here to watch a video about money energy, right? So what's this got to do with it? Well, the same kind of principle, in my opinion, applies, right? When we think about money using certain metaphors, they might encourage us to act in a particular way. And so when we shift and mold the metaphors we use, we can also shift and mold our behaviors and our money energy. If you see money as a cage, you may well feel trapped and limited. Whereas if you see it as an open field, you may be more likely to see it as expansive and holding a lot of potential for growth and abundance. In the cage metaphor, there may be a lot of restriction, confinement, control. Maybe it keeps you feeling trapped. Maybe there's a fear of scarcity or a belief that you've got to constantly accumulate and protect your money. Maybe it has you hoarding or really holding back on spending because there's this feeling of things running out. Maybe in this cage, you feel like you're not worthy of financial freedom, or you feel that money is something inherently tied to restriction, to burden and to stress. Whereas, of course, in the open field metaphor, you probably are more likely to be more open to receiving and giving and investing because you see this open field of possibilities. You literally can feel space around money. You can feel air, you can feel light, you can feel free. So, you know, this is just an invitation really to you to explore what kind of metaphors have you been using How do you see money? And can you detect any ways in which this might have been shaping your money energy and holding you back from giving and receiving? Are there any ways in which you can tweak these metaphors and change the language, the mental language that you use to start reconnecting with that sense of deep, divine inner abundance that is possible for everyone? I'm a crystal healer, and one of the really important things we do with crystals is to dedicate them. So we take a crystal and we assign it with an intention. We infuse it with a super high vibration energy so that we know why we are working together, and we enter into a very co-creative, positive relationship. And what I realized is I can actually see money as a crystal that I can dedicate. I can welcome it into my life, into my home, into my healing practice in exactly the same way as I would a mineral. And when I started to do this, it really shifted my energy around money and helped me to see it as a sacred tool, as a force for transformation. So I'm going to show you in this ritual how you can dedicate money just as you would dedicate a crystal. So we are going to start seeing it as a sacred tool for transformation and really infusing it with that high vibrational energy that aligns with divine abundance. As you can see, I've got this nice crisp note here. You can have any kind of money. It could be a note, it could be a coin, it could even be a credit card or a debit card, just some physical representation of money. So have that to hand, and then find yourself a nice quiet space, somewhere where you can be safe and comfortable for the next 10 minutes or so. Let's just take a few nice deep breaths to come into presence and start to still the mind. So once you've settled, take a nice deep inhale and exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Nice big inhale. And one more nice deep breath. Inhale and release. And then set an intention that this money ritual shift your money energy only in alignment with your highest good. And what we're going to do to start is we're going to use a litmus test phrase, okay? If you've watched my video on how to reset your money thermostat, you'll be familiar with this technique. But basically, we say a phrase to sort of test where our energy's at around money. So close down your eyes, tune into your heart center. If it feels good, you can place a hand on your heart and even a hand on your belly as well. And repeat after me. I easily attract money miracles. I want you to give this phrase a score from 1 to 10, where 1 is I absolutely believe none of that. That is not true for me in any way. And 10 is I completely agree. I easily attract money miracles. That feels totally true. I'm on board 100%. So give it a number and either note it down or just remember it for after we've done this ritual. The next step is to take your money and you're going to just blow over the money, okay? The intention with this is to clear out any disharmonious energies that it may have picked up on its travels. When we do this with crystals, there are lots of different ways, right? So you could use smoke, people use sage or Palo Santo or frankincense resin, or ideally local herbs. So you could choose to incorporate that in this ritual if that feels good for you. You can also use sound, you can chime or use a singing bowl or anything to go through this process. Now, obviously, this physical money does not have the same kind of properties as a mineral like a crystal, but I'm doing this in a symbolic way to invite the kind of clearing and purification of our relationship with money. Okay, so however you choose to do it, blowing, sound, smudging, whatever, I want you to take a moment to just clear out anything disharmonious associated with money, okay? I actually kind of like to waft it as well, just shaking off any negative energy, okay? And next, I want you to really look at the money, whether it's a coin, whether it's a note or whatever. I really want you to use your eyes and your vision to inspect it, to notice colours, shapes, patterns, marks, anything about it that you notice visually, because sometimes we don't really see what's right in front of us. So this is a chance to connect with money through the senses, through your eyes. So just take a moment to look at your money now and connect with it in that way. I want you to also give your money a little squeeze, feel it, really notice it in your hands. Again, it's a question of connecting with it through the senses and like really making contact with it up close and personal in a different way. So sense it, squeeze it, feel it, and start to acknowledge it. Acknowledge its presence in your hands. And now that we've made these connections, I want you to just relax, let your hands fall down, let your attention turn back inwards and gently close down your eyes. Sense the money in your presence. And I want you to repeat the dedication that I always use for my crystals. Dear money, thank you for being in my life. I honour you. I dedicate you now to healing, love, and transformation. May we work together, harming none. In accordance with the laws of divine grace, for the highest good of all. Take a nice deep breath, and let's just check in again with our test phrase. I easily attract money miracles. Okay, so allow yourself to just, as you are, repeat that phrase and give it a number. I easily attract money miracles. Has the number gone up? Has it stayed the same? Whatever you experience is all really good information, but it's useful to check in to see whether when you connect with any kind of energy, money is energy, you know, things shift. So be curious about how you feel differently to the way you felt before you went through this little ritual. So as you go about your day or your week, notice any little shifts around money. Notice small wins, notice opportunities, or notice those huge wins as well, by the way, and let me know. I love to hear your money miracle stories. So do comment as and when you see things changing in your external reality as a result of having shifted your money energy. And if you would like to work with me more closely one-to-one, then I'll leave a link in the description below so you can apply for my 10-week coaching program. I hope you found that fun. I love this practice and appreciate you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.